Everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is Spring Porter with Spring Solutions LLC. In this video, I'm going to be talking about multiple entries for a same case that you can see in the Unclaimed Funds Locator. So if you're interested in learning about multiple entries, please stay tuned. Please note that I am not an attorney. This information is not indicated as legal advice. So when you're searching for leads in the Unclaimed Funds Locator, and I've mentioned this before, but I'll reiterate it again. I've mentioned this in my course. I've mentioned it previously on my channel toward the beginning, maybe videos 1 and 2. But I have a student who is enrolled in my course right now who had this question. And just a reminder, if you're in my course, please make sure that you don't skip around. Make sure that you go in order, you complete the homework assignments, and you're really understanding the importance of verifying funds, because all this will come out when you're verifying the funds. But here you have, let's say I'm searching for Michael Ramp, this particular case. Sometimes the court will not put the same entry, like say for the same case. It may be on a different page. So you may have several entries, and then Michael Ramp, you think at first glance that he's only getting back $13.48, but he's actually getting back more money. So if you click, you have to make sure you're clicking into the case number on the Unclaimed Funds Locator, because this will show you multiple entries if there are any. So for this particular debtor, he filed bankruptcy, he's getting money back. He's getting back more than $13.48. So you want to make sure that you are verifying the funds through Court Listener, verifying or through, Pacer, or through calling the clerk's office. Verifying the funds is not just to make sure to see if the funds are still available, if someone has retrieved them or not. Another reason is to make sure the amount that you're verifying. You cannot verify a partial amount and just recover $13.48 and leave the remaining. I don't think the court will even issue an order like that. It has to be for the full amount that is owed to the debtor. And especially if you're doing that quick step method and you just look at this entry without clicking into the case and without verifying it, you could be missing out on money, and so could the debtor, right? And then again, the court is probably going to find out later. They're going to look at your paperwork and say, hey, this is not even for the right amount. And then you'll have a denied order for basically not having the correct unclaimed fund amount. All right, so make sure that you are verifying the funds. That is the most important thing. So Michael Ramp, this is courtlistener.com. This is, again, free site. You go to the bottom of the court docket, and here you see there are separate deposits for unclaimed funds. And because this particular debtor's case was dismissed because he got a default in plan payments. So he probably was not paying the full amount. He was probably paying $300 here, $200 here, and then some time goes by and they dismissed his case. Well, when that happens, the court will basically put in the receipts of those deposits basically in an order that they receive them. So you may see multiple entries because that is the way that the money was received to begin with. So it may not always be in one big check. That is another reason why you're double checking. Here is the final report. Again, this is sometimes called the deposit report, or it's just another way to verify the funds. And sometimes, again, depending on the district you're in, you're going to need this document to support your application for unclaimed funds. And so when you do that and you click on it, you see here that there is a refund to the debtor. And this is $1648.40, and this is exactly what he's getting back here. So again, this final report shows all the accounting that took place in this particular debtor's case. It shows how much he paid into the court. It shows the attorney's fees, if anything was paid to his attorney, so on and so forth. It tells all the creditors that were listed, how much the creditor claims were for. Everything is listed here. But at the end of the day, his case got dismissed, and so the money that he was supposed to pay back, his creditors, it actually goes back to him. So $1648.40 is what he's getting back. So it is very important that you are verifying the funds. You have to do that. You want to make sure that you are claiming the right amount on your paperwork. You want to make sure that you're reaching out to the clerk. If you're not good at reviewing the court docket, call the clerk's office. But again, the clerk's office, they're not going to tell you specifically what to write in where. They're not allowed to give you legal advice. They're just going to answer your questions the best to their ability. And sometimes they may not always know. What if they're new? What if they're changing the process? They don't always have the answer. You're going to have to become good at reviewing the court docket so that you fully understand it. Otherwise, you're going to have to just ask for a more seasoned, you know, clerk to maybe answer your questions, or someone in the finance department who can answer your questions. There's usually some clerk or someone who has been there for years and knows exactly what you're talking about. But the problem is trying to get them on the phone and knowing their name. So once you have that contact person, make sure that you're able, you write down their number or your email address, and you can always reach out to them. Those are going to be your best friends. All right. So just make sure, again, you're aware of that. You click into the case number and you're verifying the funds. Okay. I've talked about that multiple times, but maybe you were unclear as to seeing multiple entries. All right. Another thing that I wanted to point out, and again, here's another example. Michelle Davidge. You see how it goes to Michael Stone and then Michelle Davidge. These are two different cases here. So you think Michelle Davidge at first glance is only getting back 375. And if you're doing the quick step method, you see here that she owes, or she's owed more than that, right? So don't miss a step. Make sure that you're contacting the right person. Another thing with multiple entries that I wanted to mention is from the standpoint of the creditors who have filed claims. So if I go to, here it is, the condominium case. This is a big condominium who filed bankruptcy. They have a lot of entries. If I click in their case number, it will show me all the creditor claims that have filed in the condominium case. So I'm not calling the condominium and saying, hey, you guys have $10,000 left over, $715 left over. That's not true. This is United Property Holdings. This is for Samuel Carcany. This is for Joseph Easton. You have to read the entries properly. And another thing that I wanted to reiterate, sometimes you may see more than one Wells Fargo or banks for the same particular case because, there's multiple locations. For example, Wells Fargo here is $10,538 claim. If I click on the envelope, I see that this office is in Des Moines, right? If I go to the next page, I see that there are other Wells Fargo because, again, it's nationwide. There's so many different satellite offices. And this Wells Fargo, this office is represented by an attorney, but they're in Rockville. And I know Brock and Scott is dealing with real estate. So this is like a mortgage issue, or maybe a mortgage arrears or something, or maybe a foreclosure deficiency notice or something like that, deficiency amount. So here you have different offices, and you cannot lump the one from Wells Fargo, lump it with the one in Rockville, because there's two separate accounts, right? So keep that in mind. When you're dealing with the debtor who's getting money back, you can lump their money together because they're not claims. These are just funds that they paid into the court. The court case got dismissed, and they're getting the money back. When you're dealing with creditor claims, they actually filed a claim in a case, and so you can't lump all of the same Wells Fargo claims all together for one big check. No, because they're coming from separate offices. You would have to file separate applications for unclaimed funds for each individual claim. And see, here you have the condominium and Wells Fargo, 5 times for all different amounts. These are 5 separate claims, separate accounts. You would have to call 5 separate offices, and you would have to file 5 separate applications for unclaimed funds. So again, this comes out when you are dealing with verifying the funds. This makes more sense when you do that. This is exactly why you have to verify the funds. You have to get your documents in order to make sure that you're calling who you're supposed to be calling. Now, I'll go over this again in my course. I go over this even on my channel, but more extensively in my course. You want to make sure that you are taking good notes and that you are truly doing your homework with calling the right people and verifying the amounts. I'm trying to save you, a headache and maybe time lost and maybe some embarrassment, right? You don't want to call the wrong person. So just to reiterate, always click into the case number to make sure that they're getting the amounts that they're supposed to get. Always verify the funds. You're verifying not just to see if the funds are still there, you're verifying for amounts as well. And call the right person. For example, these 3 cases here, these are all cases where the individual has filed bankruptcy and they're getting money back. Camilla Johnson is listed as a creditor. She's listed as a debtor because she is filing filed bankruptcy, she's getting money back to her. All of these other cases here are debtors, companies, or individuals, and these are companies or individuals that have filed a claim in their case, so they're getting money back. So essentially, anybody who is listed under creditor is getting money back. I mentioned that before, but again, there are a lot of new people on my channel, and some of you may be trying to figure this out on your own without taking my course, and you're just unclear. I'm trying to save you a headache. You don't want to waste time filling out an application for the wrong person. For example, this Richard Poplin, you would think, oh, okay, he's getting $5,264 back. I'm going to call him, hey, Richard, hey, bro, you got money coming back. Well, that's not true. This is HSBC Mortgage Services who's getting money back, right? And this is their address. So again, if you're interested in this process, I'm taking the guesswork out of it for you. I'm showing you the process from beginning to end. I don't want you to make a mistake and you call the wrong person, and then you don't have the right information you need, the right amount that you need, and you don't even have the right documents that you need. Please make sure that you are doing your homework, really, and you're trying to do this on your own, and you have to make sure you're calling the right people and you're doing your research with Court Listener or Pacer, right? I know that Pacer, it can add up. Again, that's not a free site. It's 10 cents a download. And maybe always calling the clerk's office is not interesting. It's not fun. Then you're going to have to really learn how to do it properly so that you're not wasting time and you're not wasting money, right? So just putting that out there, this is how you read the Unclaimed Funds Locator. It's just taking a closer look at it. Again, I've shown you this site so many times, but I'm not sure if you were aware. Again, if you're clicking into the case number here, it will show you multiple entries. Just make sure you play around with this site. That's the only way that you're going to become good at anything, is if you kind of go through the motions and you're doing it yourself. I'm giving you the tools. Again, in my course, I show you the process from beginning to end so that you don't make this mistake and you don't make the mistake of calling the wrong person or not putting the right amount in and that sort of thing. So again, please continue to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. If you're interested in my course, please check the links in the description box below. I'm going to make sure I put links to chapter 13 plans in case you're interested on the separate entries and learning, why cases get dismissed and that sort of thing. I'll post links to those videos up top. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this is helpful. See you soon.